The internet is in absolute chaos tonight, after a secret audio recording allegedly featuring K. Michelle leaked online, and what's being said has everyone from fans to fellow stars clutching their pearls. The clip, which surfaced late last night, reportedly captures K. Michelle in an explosive private conversation where she accuses none other than Kirk Frost of betrayal, manipulation, and the kind of behind-the-scenes deception that could shatter Atlanta's entire reality TV circle. In the audio, a woman's voice believed to be K. Michelle's is heard trembling with emotion as she says, "He didn't just lie to Rashida, he betrayed all of us. Every single one of us who ever trusted him." Within hours, the leak spread like wildfire, lighting up every corner of social media. Fans flooded Twitter with disbelief. Instagram went into meltdown mode. And YouTube gossip channels began dissecting every second of the alleged clip. Was it real? Was it edited? And if it was real, what exactly did Kirk do that could make K. Michelle, known for her fiery confidence and no-filter honesty, sound so broken? According to insiders close to the situation, the recording dates back to the final weeks of filming a major love and hip-hop spin-off, where tensions were already at an all-time high. Sources claim K. Michelle was growing increasingly distant from several castmates, especially Rashida and Kirk, after rumors surfaced about a secret business deal gone wrong. In the leaked audio, the voice believed to be K. Michelle can be heard saying, "He promised us loyalty, but he was only loyal to himself." The tone is raw, heavy, and unguarded, nothing like her usual stage persona. Some fans think it was a confession, others say it was a trap, and a few believe someone from the production team leaked it intentionally to destroy reputations and boost ratings. By sunrise, the fallout had already begun. Kirk and Rashida were spotted leaving their boutique in total silence, paparazzi flashes reflecting off their tense expressions. Meanwhile, K. Michelle stayed quiet on her social media, deleting several recent posts and changing her profile picture to a plain black screen, a move fans interpreted as a silent declaration of war. The gossip doesn't stop there. Several cast members have started dropping cryptic comments, with one writing, "When the truth comes out, Atlanta won't be the same." Another simply posted, "Loyalty is a luxury most people can't afford." The drama has officially reached boiling point, and everyone's waiting for K. Michelle to speak. What exactly did Kirk do that broke the bond between them? Why now, and most importantly, who leaked the recording in the first place? Tonight, we break it all down, every betrayal, every tear, and every shocking twist behind K. Michelle's secret audio leak that has the entire love and hip-hop world trembling. The tension was palpable the moment K. Michelle walked onto the set that morning. Her usually confident stride slightly slowed as whispers followed her down the hallway. Cameras captured every micro-expression, and fans at home could almost feel the electricity through their screens, but nothing compared to what was about to unfold behind closed doors. According to sources, the night before, K. Michelle had stayed up until the early hours listening to audio clips she had somehow obtained through a trusted insider. Clips that allegedly revealed Kirk's manipulations and secret deals with multiple cast members and even producers. It wasn't just betrayal, it was a web of lies that implicated almost everyone she trusted. "I can't believe he'd do this to us," she allegedly whispered to herself, pacing her dressing room. The words hung in the air, heavy with disbelief and anger. Emotions ran high as she dialed a few confidants, trying to process the avalanche of revelations she had uncovered. Meanwhile, Kirk Frost was completely unaware of the storm brewing. His morning had started like any other, sipping coffee and scrolling through his phone, but by the time he reached the studio parking lot, his inbox was already flooded with cryptic messages from co-stars, some asking if he had seen the leak, others implying that the world was about to learn a very different side of him. His assistant tried to calm him down. "It's probably just rumors, Kirk, don't let it get to you." But Kirk's jaw tightened. The fear of exposure was real, and the thought of K. Michelle confronting him gnawed at his confidence. The production team sensed the tension immediately, cameras rolling, or not everyone felt the pressure. The crew members exchanged uneasy glances, knowing a confrontation was inevitable and that ratings would explode if it happened in front of cameras. Yet everyone was painfully aware that this was no ordinary scene. This was the culmination of months of hidden agendas, secret conversations, and simmering resentments. The moment K. Michelle entered the main lounge, Kirk was already there with Rashida by his side. The atmosphere shifted as if the air itself had thickened. Every eye turned toward her. The room quieted. A rare silence settled over the set, only interrupted by the faint click of a camera capturing the impending drama. She approached slowly, the weight of the leaked audio hanging over her like a storm Cloud. Kirk attempted a casual greeting, but it fell flat. The tension was too sharp. Michelle, he said, trying to sound light, but his voice betrayed him. We need to talk. She didn't reply immediately. Instead, she stared straight into his eyes. The kind of gaze that could freeze anyone in place. The crew exchanged nervous glances, sensing a confrontation was unavoidable. You knew about this. She finally spoke, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and hurt. You knew exactly what you were doing. Kirk shifted uncomfortably. Michelle, I can explain, he began, but she cut him off. Explain. Explain how you lied to all of us, how you manipulated everyone behind our backs, how you promised loyalty and gave us betrayal instead. Emotions ran high as Rashida stepped back, slightly unsure whether to intervene or watch the fireworks unfold. The room felt like it was about to implode. The leaked audio played in her mind, every word, every pause, every subtle admission of deceit. It was undeniable, and now she was facing the man responsible. The confrontation escalated. Quickly, voices raised, accusations flew, and the crew struggled to maintain some semblance of order. You don't get to stand here and act innocent, Michelle shouted, tears glistening in her eyes. I trusted you, Kirk, and you sold us out. Kirk tried to respond, but the dam of anger had burst. And Rashida, don't think I forgot your part in this either, she added, turning her gaze toward her friend and co-star. The accusation sent a shockwave through the room. Rashida's face paled. The family was left divided, some supporting Michelle, others silently rooting for Kirk to explain himself, but the truth was no one really knew who to believe. Tensions escalated further as private secrets were dragged into the light. Michelle confronted Kirk about alleged deals with producers, promising roles and scenes to certain cast members in exchange for loyalty. She detailed every supposed betrayal, every whispered conversation. She had caught wind of. You're not just a liar, you're a puppeteer, she screamed. The crew tried to intervene, but the emotional energy was electric. No one dared speak over the storm unfolding before them. Kirk's defense was shaky, each word revealing cracks in his story. His usual charm was gone, replaced by panic and desperation. I didn't mean for it to get this far, he pleaded. I never wanted anyone hurt. But the damage was done. Every fan watching online could feel the tension escalating. The leaked audio had become the undeniable proof of everything she feared, every betrayal, every manipulation, every secret exposure. Now amplified tenfold by the confrontation unfolding in front of cameras. The atmosphere shifted from disbelief to outrage. Friends and co-stars started taking sides. Social media erupted, fans choosing allegiances, some tweeting #Team KMIC, hell others #Team Kirk. The drama didn't stop with the confrontation. Rumors swirled about secret meetings between Kirk and producers, some saying he tried to control narratives, some claiming he attempted to silence cast members from speaking out. The story kept evolving as new leaks emerged, each one adding fuel to the fire and intensifying emotions on set. The cameras continued to roll, capturing moments that would soon dominate headlines and social media feeds. Michelle, now composed but visibly shaken, demanded accountability from everyone involved. She didn't just want answers from Kirk, she wanted clarity from Rashida, the producers, and even some cast members who had allegedly played roles in the deception. We all need to be honest, she said, her voice firm yet emotional, because if we don't, this house of cards is going to collapse entirely. The weight of her words hung heavy. As whispers spread throughout the room, the crew, once silent observers, began questioning their own involvement, some admitting they had seen or heard things, but remained silent out of fear of repercussions. The internal drama mirrored the chaos online. Every fan, every friend, every co-star had opinions, and the comments section exploded with theories, accusations, and demands for confessions. Meanwhile, Michelle pressed forward, recounting instances where Kirk allegedly undermined her publicly, manipulated scenes for drama, and even attempted to pit cast members against each other for personal gain. The shock was so intense that some cast members admitted later they were unsure whether to trust their own memories. The confrontation continued for hours, emotions swinging from anger to tears to moments of stunned silence. At one point, Kirk's voice broke as he said, I never meant for anyone to get hurt. Michelle, I swear, but she responded with a cold laugh that sent shivers down the spine. Words don't undo betrayal, Kirk, actions do. The room felt like it might collapse under the weight of raw emotions and decades of unresolved conflicts. Fans watching at home couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Reality television had never seen such a volatile and layered confrontation. The dynamics shifted constantly as secrets, lies, and truths collided, creating a perfect storm of drama and suspense. Just when it seemed the tension might finally ease, a new twist emerged. Whispers of another leaked conversation surfaced from a different insider, suggesting that Kirk's betrayals went even deeper than anyone had imagined. This revelation reignited the emotional fire and forced everyone back into the eye of the storm. Michelle's resolve hardened. She realized that this wasn't just about confrontation, it was about exposing a pattern of deceit and manipulation that had affected everyone involved. She began planning her next steps. Aware that the eyes of millions were now glued to her every word, every glance, every reaction, the weight of responsibility, anger, and betrayal made each decision monumental. The scene was set for more revelations, more drama, and more emotional chaos. But for now, the air hung heavy with the echoes of accusations, tears, and confessions. The stage was set for the next chapter of this explosive story. The tension didn't subside as the crew tried to regroup after the explosive confrontation. Michelle remained at the center of the storm, her mind racing with every betrayal she had uncovered. The leaked audio had done more than confirm suspicions, it had ignited a chain reaction that no one on set could contain. As she walked through the studio halls, whispers followed her every step. Cameras captured her glances toward cast members who now avoided eye contact. Some looked guilty, others defensive, but all knew that nothing could undo the revelations that had surfaced. The day had started as any other but quickly transformed into a battlefield of emotions. Alliances were tested, friendships fractured, and the line between reality and spectacle blurred. Kirk, visibly shaken, attempted to gather his thoughts, his usual composure shattered by the onslaught of accusations and the undeniable evidence now circulating online. "I never wanted it to go this far," he muttered repeatedly to anyone who would listen, yet no one could find solace in his words. The audio had laid bare a pattern of deceit that went far beyond a single act of betrayal. Fans watching live streams and recaps where shocked emotions ran high across social media, with threads dissecting every word, every expression of guilt or defiance. The family was left divided. The tension wasn't just about Kirk and Michelle, it had ripples that affected Rashida, producers, and even secondary cast members who had unwittingly become pawns in the unfolding drama. Michelle's next move was calculated. She needed more than confrontation, she wanted accountability. She called a private meeting with producers, insisting that every hidden deal, every manipulated storyline, and every secret conversation be disclosed. "We can't keep living in lies," she asserted, her voice steady but laced with intensity. The producers hesitated, knowing that the scandal could not only affect ratings, but also expose them to backlash and legal ramifications. One producer finally spoke. "Michelle, we can explain, but please understand it's complicated." She cut him off. "Complicated is just another word for lying. It's time someone tells the truth." The room fell silent, the weight of her words pressing down on everyone present. Meanwhile, Kirk's attempts to regain control of the narrative failed miserably. Every statement he made, every gesture, every defensive explanation, only fueled speculation that he had indeed been orchestrating scenarios behind the scenes. A series of leaked texts and emails added layers to the unfolding drama. Some hinted at secret promises made to co-stars, others suggested attempts to discredit Michelle herself. The firestorm escalated when a new audio clip surfaced, allegedly capturing Kirk plotting with an unnamed producer about manipulating cast dynamics to create maximum tension on camera. The clip painted a picture of a man whose personal gain outweighed loyalty, friendship, and transparency. The public reaction was instantaneous. Hashtags trending, hashtag KMIC, Hell Speaks, hashtag Kirk betrayed us all over Twitter, Instagram. Reels dissected facial expressions while reaction videos flooded YouTube. The studio itself became a pressure cooker. Emotions ran high during every break in filming. Cast members whispered privately, expressing disbelief and fear of being dragged into the scandal. No one felt safe, no one wanted to be next. Michelle, sensing the shifting dynamics, decided to confront Rashida directly. The exchange was intense. "How could you stay silent?" she demanded, her eyes flashing with anger and hurt. "I trusted you, and you chose loyalty to him over honesty to me." Rashida, caught off guard, stammered, I didn't know what to do. I thought I was protecting everyone, protecting everyone." Michelle shot back, "By hiding the truth, by letting betrayal fester. That's not protection, that's complicity." The conversation drew the attention of nearby cast members who tried to intervene, but the energy in the room was too raw. Too volatile. Emotions ran higher than anyone had anticipated, and the confrontation quickly spiraled into heated arguments. Accusations flew faster than anyone could keep up with, each exchange adding more fuel to the fire. Every confession, every defensive remark was captured by cameras eager to document the escalating drama. Michelle, realizing that the storm was bigger than just the two of them, turned her attention to the wider cast. She demanded transparency from everyone. "I want the truth from every single one of you," she said, her voice unwavering, "because if this continues, the entire show, our friendships, our credibility, everything is at stake." Cast members hesitated, many knowing that coming forward could damage their careers, some fearing backlash. Others worried about personal relationships, but under the weight of her presence and the undeniable proof in the leaked audios, a few began to confess to what they knew and had seen. The atmosphere shifted yet again. Emotions ranged from guilt to shame to relief as the truth slowly began to unravel. Secrets long hidden behind smiles, handshakes, and carefully curated scenes were laid bare, one cast member admitted, voice quivering. I knew Kirk was manipulating situations, but I didn't know how far it went until now." Michelle listened intently, her expression hard but her eyes showing a flicker of understanding. She knew the truth was complicated, yet necessary for closure and accountability. Meanwhile, Kirk's facade continued to crumble. He tried to deny allegations, rationalize his decisions, and regain favor with cast members, but each effort seemed only to deepen suspicion. The leaked audio, once thought to be just a fragment of deception, now appeared to be a roadmap of his manipulations and lies. The tension reached new heights during a heated lunch break. The room was filled with awkward silence, punctuated by muttered accusations and stifled sobs. Michelle's intensity did not waver. "We can't move forward if we don't face the truth," she said, her voice cutting through the quiet. A few co-stars, emboldened by her stance, began sharing more details about hidden conflicts, private conversations, and moments where loyalty had been sold out for personal gain. The atmosphere was electric, every revelation adding layers of complexity and emotional intensity. Fans online could barely keep up with the non-stop leaks, posts, and speculation. The story had grown far beyond a simple confrontation. It had become a full-blown saga of betrayal, deception, and raw emotion. The cameras continued to roll, capturing every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, every tear shed in moments of vulnerability. As the day wore on, Michelle's resolve grew stronger. She organized a private strategy session demanding transparency and accountability from Kirk, Rashida, and producers alike. She wanted every conversation laid bare, every lie exposed. "We're not leaving until the truth is out," she insisted, the weight of her words pressed down on everyone present. The confrontation that began as a private dispute had now evolved into a public reckoning. The drama, leaks, and revelations had created a ripple effect that extended far beyond the studio set and into the hearts and minds of fans, co-stars, and the entire reality TV community. The day's events ended with unresolved tension, but one thing was clear. Michelle had taken control of the narrative and was determined to uncover every secret. The storm was far from over, and the stage was set for even more shocking revelations, confrontations, and betrayals that would continue to rock the show and everyone involved. The fallout from the confrontations earlier in the day carried over into the evening. The energy on set remained charged with tension every step. Michelle seemed to echo with the weight of the revelations she had unearthed. The leaked audios had not only exposed Kirk's alleged betrayals but had also revealed fractures within the cast's personal relationships. As darkness fell outside the studio, inside the atmosphere was nothing short of electric. Whispers spread like wildfire, cast members exchanging hurried conversations in corners, trying to figure out alliances and who might be next. Michelle, refusing to rest until every secret came to light, called for another private gathering, this time including not only Kirk and Rashida but also secondary cast members and a few key crew. The intent was clear. Every hidden agenda, every manipulated storyline, every private deception had to be confronted head-on. The room fell silent as she entered once again, her presence commanding attention. "We all know why we're here," she began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "It's time to put everything on the table." The tension was so thick it could almost be cut with a knife. Kirk shifted nervously in his chair, Rashida avoided eye contact, and several crew members fidgeted uneasily, knowing that their own secrets could be exposed. The first wave of confessions came from a supporting cast member who had been quietly observing the chaos for weeks. I saw Kirk plotting with the producers to manipulate scenes," the words barely out, when another co-star jumped in, adding, "and he tried to pit me against Michelle last season to create more drama." The room seemed to shrink as the wave of admissions continued, each revelation layering more complexity onto the already explosive situation. Emotions ran high with a mixture of anger, guilt, and disbelief. A few cast members broke down in tears, admitting They had been pressured into hiding information or even actively participating in manipulations. Michelle listened intently, jotting notes and nodding at some admissions, while her eyes flashed with intensity at others. When it was finally Kirk's turn to speak, he attempted a defensive stance. "I was just trying to keep the show interesting, it wasn't personal," but the response was immediate and scathing. "Interesting? You call destroying friendships, lying to everyone, and betraying trust interesting?" Her voice sliced through the room, each word landing with precision. "This isn't a game, Kirk. This is real life and real people's lives." The dynamic shifted once again as Rashida tried to interject. We all make mistakes, Kay." Michelle's glare silenced her. Mistakes? This was calculated deception. The raw honesty in the room created an almost unbearable pressure as more layers of hidden conflicts and alliances were unveiled. Rumors about secret financial deals, off-camera manipulations, and personal vendettas surfaced one after another. The crew struggled to maintain composure while cameras continued rolling, capturing every moment of raw emotion. The story was no longer just about Kirk and Michelle. It had evolved into a labyrinth of betrayals spanning multiple cast members and production staff. The emotional intensity escalated when Michelle confronted Kirk with specific instances from the leaked audio clips she had painstakingly compiled. Each clip played in her mind, every word fueling her determination to uncover the full truth. She demanded answers, accountability, and transparency. The room's energy teetered between chaos and revelation as cast members continued revealing information. "I overheard him talking about manipulating scenes to favor certain cast members," one admitted, "and he promised me a storyline if I kept quiet," another voice chimed in. "He threatened to expose me if I spoke up." The web of manipulation grew increasingly complex, each confession layered over the next, creating an almost unbearable tension in the room. Yet amidst the chaos, Michelle remained focused. She knew this wasn't just about vindication, it was about exposing a culture of deceit and manipulation that had affected everyone on set. She methodically pressed each person for details, demanding honesty. "We can't move forward if we keep hiding behind lies." She insisted. Her resolve was unwavering. The hours dragged on, emotions fluctuated from anger to tears. 2 moments of stunned silence. The psychological weight of the revelations was felt by everyone present. Even secondary cast members who had previously remained silent began opening up. Each disclosure seemed to ignite new tensions and alliances. The room became a pressure cooker of emotions, secrets, and raw truths. By late evening, the confrontation had reached a crescendo. Fans watching online were glued to their screens. The story had taken on a life of its own, hashtags trending, reaction videos multiplying, and speculations running rampant. Every new revelation seemed to outdo the last. The leaked audios had created a domino effect that had yet to reach its end. Michelle, sensing that the narrative was slipping beyond anyone's control, began organizing the information she had gathered, noting patterns of deception and collusion. She realized that the public needed to understand the full scope of the manipulation, not just the highlights. "This isn't just about me or Kirk," she declared, her voice firm. "This is about everyone who's been affected and everyone who deserves to know the truth." The room responded with a mix of shock, realization, and some relief. It was clear that this confrontation was a turning point. No longer could cast members hide behind pretense or fear. Each person was being forced to face reality. The revelations continued to pile up. Secret alliances, hidden conflicts, and unspoken grudges were aired. Some cast members even admitted to encouraging drama for personal gain. While pretending to be neutral, the emotional weight was immense, and Michelle's presence ensured that honesty prevailed. One by one, the pieces of the puzzle began to form a picture of the manipulation, deceit, and calculated betrayals that had shaped the dynamics of the cast. The tension in the room was matched only by the anticipation. Online fans speculated endlessly. Every confession, every defensive response, every flash of emotion was analyzed and dissected. Thousands of posts flooded social media with theories, opinions, and predictions. The scope of the drama had grown far beyond the initial audio leak. It had become a cultural phenomenon. The day ended with no real resolution but one undeniable truth. The storm had exposed cracks that could no longer be ignored. The cast, producers, and crew were left to grapple with the fallout, knowing that every secret, every lie, and every betrayal was now part of the public record, and that the narrative had shifted irreversibly. Michelle had emerged as the central figure in this battle for truth and accountability, and as she walked away from the final meeting of the day, the weight of what had been revealed and the knowledge of what was still to come hung heavy over everyone involved. The story was far from over, and the next chapter promised even more shocking revelations, confrontations, and emotional intensity that would continue to captivate fans and reshape the dynamics of everyone involved. The following morning brought no relief. The tension from the previous day lingered. Like a thick fog over the set, every corner seemed charged with unspoken accusations and the fear of who might speak next. Michelle arrived early. Determined to keep momentum on her side, she reviewed notes from the prior day's confrontations and listened to the leaked audios once again, each word reinforcing her resolve that the truth needed to be fully exposed as cameras rolled. She called another gathering, this time including production staff who had previously avoided confrontation, their nervous energy filling the room. Kirk arrived last, his usual swagger replaced with a tense, guarded demeanor. Every step toward the center seemed weighted with the knowledge of what awaited him. The first few minutes were silent, everyone waiting for Michelle to speak. She let the silence linger before breaking it with a voice that cut through the room. We have to address what happened yesterday and what has been uncovered since then. The crew exchanged uneasy glances, knowing that the confrontation was far from over. The intensity escalated as she recounted the latest leaks, detailing private conversations between Kirk and producers plotting ways to control narratives, manipulate scenes, and create conflict among cast members. The revelations were staggering, and even seasoned crew members struggled to maintain composure. Whispers of disbelief and murmurs of acknowledgement filled the room. You manipulated scenes, lead to cast members, and created drama for ratings, Michelle said, her tone sharp yet controlled. We all knew something was off, but now the truth is undeniable. Kirk attempted a defense. I didn't mean harm, I was just trying to keep the show interesting. She cut him off with a glare that silenced the room. Interesting? This wasn't entertainment, this was betrayal of trust, loyalty, and friendship. The emotional stakes escalated as more cast members, emboldened by Michelle's firm stance, began sharing their experiences. One admitted, I felt pressured to go along with plans I knew were wrong. Another added, he threatened me if I spoke out. The web of manipulation was growing more complex with each confession. Rashida tried to intervene. Michelle, we all made mistakes, but Michelle was unrelenting. Mistakes? This was calculated deception. The room hung on her every word. The leaked audios became the backbone of the confrontation, each clip providing undeniable evidence of the manipulation. The psychological impact was palpable. Everyone was forced to face the reality of the situation for the first time without filters or denials. Emotions ran high, anger and guilt intermingled with tears as cast members began to recognize the full scope of what had transpired. The atmosphere was electric, every revelation adding layers of tension and suspense. Fans online watched live updates as the drama unfolded, every new disclosure fueling discussions, debates, and speculation on social media. Hashtags like #KMIC exposes Kirk and #reality drama booming flooded timelines. The pressure on Kirk mounted, his usual confidence replaced by visible panic and uncertainty. He attempted to regain control by explaining certain actions, but the force of the accumulated evidence and confessions was overwhelming. The confrontation took a turn when a previously silent crew member stepped forward, revealing that Kirk had been involved in multiple secret negotiations with producers and cast members that directly contradicted his public statements. The room erupted into a mixture of shock and anger. The extent of the deception became undeniable. Even secondary cast members who had not been directly involved began to reflect on how they had been manipulated without realizing it. The intensity reached a peak when Michelle addressed Rashida directly. How could you stay silent? How could you allow this to continue? Rashida's face betrayed guilt and confusion. I thought I was protecting everyone. Michelle's eyes narrowed. Protecting everyone? By hiding the truth, by enabling betrayal. The confrontation spiraled further as more confessions surfaced, detailing secret deals, personal vendettas, and manipulations designed to pit cast members against each other. The weight of the revelations was crushing, each admission adding to a narrative of deception and betrayal. The cameras captured every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, and every tear shed. The footage was raw, unfiltered, and explosive. The drama extended beyond the studio as fans dissected every detail. Online reaction videos, posts, and threads dissecting each word, look, and reaction multiplied by the hour. Michelle's strategic approach ensured that the truth could not be ignored. She demanded accountability and transparency from every individual involved. We cannot move forward without honesty, she stated firmly. Every secret, every lie, Every manipulation must be revealed. As confessions continued to emerge, it became clear that the web of deceit was far more extensive than anyone had anticipated. Even Kirk's closest allies admitted to being aware of and choosing silence for self-preservation. The room became a pressure cooker of emotions. The psychological weight on everyone present was intense. Each confession, denial, and defensive remark layered on top of the previous ones, escalating the drama to almost unbearable levels. The emotional intensity was matched only by the anticipation. Online fans speculated endlessly about outcomes, alliances, and next moves. The leaked audios had become more than just evidence, they were the catalyst for a sweeping reckoning. The confrontation concluded for the day with no final resolution but one undeniable truth: Michelle had seized control of the narrative and set the stage for continued revelations, confrontations, and shocking twists. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and emotional intensity had only just begun, and the story was poised to explode further, captivating fans and reshaping relationships within the cast and production forever. The next day arrived with the weight of unresolved tension pressing down on everyone. The previous confrontations had set the stage for an atmosphere thick with suspicion and anticipation. Every cast member felt the eyes of both Michelle and the cameras on them, and no one dared step out of line as the crew prepared for filming. Whispers of the leaked audios circulated rapidly, some trying to downplay the situation, others fueling the drama with speculation. Michelle, however, was focused. She had spent the night reviewing every piece of evidence she had gathered. Emails, texts, and audio clips all pointed to a pattern of manipulation and betrayal that went far beyond what anyone had imagined. She knew the day ahead would be crucial in forcing accountability and uncovering truths. Kirk arrived early, visibly anxious, his attempts at casual demeanor falling flat as soon as he saw Michelle approach. The tension between them was palpable. She wasted no time confronting him. "Kirk, we need to go over everything you've done, everything you've hidden, every secret." Her voice was firm, yet charged with emotion. Kirk swallowed hard and attempted to respond. Michelle, I didn't mean for it to get this far," but she cut him off. "Didn't mean. It already did, Kirk, it already did, and now everyone is paying the price." The room fell silent as the weight of her words hung in the air. Rashida, seated nearby, tried to interject, but the intensity of Michelle's gaze froze her in place. "And you, Rashida, don't think you're off the hook." Michelle said, turning toward her former ally. Silence in the face of betrayal is complicity. The confrontation escalated quickly as other cast members began revealing their own experiences of manipulation, pressure, and deceit. Some admitted they had been coerced into lying, others confessed to covering for Kirk's schemes. The energy in the room became almost unbearable. With each revelation, emotions swung wildly: anger, guilt, shame, and frustration rippling through the group. The crew struggled to maintain control while the cameras captured every moment. The drama was raw, unscripted, and electrifying. The leaked audios had ignited a firestorm, and no one wanted to be the next target. As Michelle pressed on, Kirk tried to justify his actions. "I was trying to keep the show interesting, I never meant to hurt anyone." But she was relentless. "Interesting? This isn't a game, Kirk, it's real-life. Friendships and trust were destroyed under your hands." The intensity reached a new level when additional audio clips surfaced allegedly capturing Kirk planning manipulations and covert agreements with producers. The clips corroborated earlier confessions and intensified the scrutiny. The cast members reacted with a mixture of shock, relief, and indignation, some expressing regret for participating while others voiced outrage at being deceived. The atmosphere was electric, every confession layered on top of another, creating a complex web of betrayal. The power dynamics had shifted dramatically. Michelle had emerged as the central figure, demanding transparency and truth from everyone involved. The confrontation wasn't limited to just Kirk and Rashida, it extended to the entire production team. Several crew members admitted complicity or knowledge of the manipulations, their confessions adding further layers of tension and drama. The day unfolded with alternating waves of heated arguments, confessions, and reflective silences, each moment intensifying the narrative and increasing the emotional stakes. Fans online followed every development with rapt attention. Social media exploded with posts, threads, and reaction videos, analyzing every aspect of the unfolding saga. Hashtags like #Michelle reveals truth and #Kirk betrayal dominated timelines. The public's fascination added pressure to the already charged environment. Each revelation, each tear, each defensive remark captured on camera magnified the intensity of the situation. The leaked audios had become more than evidence, they were catalysts reshaping relationships, exposing hidden motives and forcing confrontations that had long been avoided. As the day progressed, Michelle demanded specific accountability from Kirk. "We need a full disclosure, Kirk. Every deal, every manipulation, every lie," her voice unwavering. Kirk's defenses began to falter under the weight of the evidence, the accumulated confessions, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Every attempt to rationalize actions was met with scrutiny and disbelief. The room became a pressure cooker of tension and emotion. The psychological weight was immense, and the confrontations were exhausting yet necessary. Each admission contributed to a clearer picture of the manipulation and deceit that had governed interactions behind the scenes. The drama spilled into informal spaces, the cafeteria, hallways, even private dressing rooms were filled with hushed conversations, speculations, and the occasional heated argument. The ripple effect of the leaked audios ensured that no one could remain uninvolved. Even those who had previously claimed ignorance began to reassess their positions and roles. The emotional impact on cast members was profound. Some broke down into tears, others expressed anger at being deceived, and some tried to justify their past actions. Michelle maintained focus, guiding the confrontations, strategically ensuring that the truth emerged systematically. The intensity peaked when she presented a compiled timeline of Kirk's alleged manipulations, cross-referencing confessions with leaked audio excerpts. The evidence was compelling and undeniable. The room's energy surged with shock, fear, and realization as each cast member confronted the reality of the situation. The confrontation concluded for the day with significant revelations but unresolved tension lingering heavily. Everyone knew the storm was far from over. The leaked audios had triggered an unprecedented chain of events, and the narrative was now in Michelle's hands. The stage was set for the next round of shocking confrontations, emotional breakdowns, and explosive revelations that promised to captivate fans and redefine relationships on and off the screen. By midweek, the atmosphere on set had reached a level of intensity that felt almost unbearable. Every corner seemed charged with whispers, rumors, and glances laced with suspicion. Michelle had become the driving force behind the unfolding drama, her relentless pursuit of truth and accountability commanding attention and forcing confrontations that had long been avoided. The leaked audios had unleashed a tidal wave of revelations and emotions that no one could contain. Kirk Frost arrived looking more subdued than ever. The swagger that usually accompanied him was replaced with a cautious, almost haunted demeanor. He knew the eyes of cast, crew, and millions of fans were on him. Every move scrutinized, every word analyzed. Michelle wasted no time confronting him again. "Kirk, this stops today," she said, her tone icy and unyielding. "We're going through every detail, every secret, every manipulation you've been involved in." Kirk swallowed hard, attempting to muster a defense. I never wanted anyone hurt," but the words fell flat. "Never wanted. Kirk, peoples trust their relationships, you destroyed them for personal gain." Her voice echoed in the room, every cast member listening intently, emotions running high. Rashida, who had previously remained silent for much of the day, now stepped forward, trying to explain her own role in the unfolding chaos. "I didn't know what to do. I thought I was protecting everyone." Michelle's eyes narrowed. Protecting everyone? By hiding the truth? By enabling betrayal? The room's energy intensified with each passing moment as more cast members came forward, confessing knowledge of Kirk's schemes, secret deals, and manipulations. The pressure was immense, every confession adding new layers of complexity to the story. The production crew, who had initially tried to remain neutral, found themselves dragged into the storm one by one, admitting to knowledge of behind-the-scenes manipulation, and in some cases active participation in creating tension on camera. The revelations were staggering. Emotions ran high. Anger, guilt, and shame intermingled with relief as the full scope of the deception became undeniable. Michelle methodically pressed for answers, cross-referencing confessions with the leaked audios, creating a narrative that was both shocking and impossible to deny. The intensity reached a new peak when Kirk was confronted with evidence of private conversations where he allegedly plotted with producers and co-stars to manipulate storylines. The audio confirmed patterns of deceit and betrayal that had previously been only suspected. The room erupted with accusations, defensive statements, and emotional outbursts, each cast member grappling with the reality that they had been manipulated and deceived. The cameras continued to roll, capturing every moment. The footage raw, unfiltered, and explosive. Fans online reacted immediately. Social media flooded with posts, videos, and threads dissecting every interaction, every confession, every defensive remark. Hashtags like #KMIC, Hell uncovers truth, and #KirkBetrayal dominated platforms. The public's fascination amplified the pressure on everyone involved. The drama spilled over beyond scheduled filming breaks into hallways, dressing rooms, and informal spaces, every conversation tinged with tension, speculation, and sometimes outright confrontation. Michelle maintained focus, guiding the confrontations, strategically ensuring that the truth emerged while managing the escalating emotional chaos. By late afternoon, Kirk's attempts at justification became increasingly desperate. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," he said, his voice trembling. Michelle's response was firm. Intent doesn't undo betrayal, Kirk, actions do. The emotional weight of the day's revelations bore heavily on everyone, the psychological pressure was immense, and the confrontation left cast members reflecting on their own involvement, some expressing guilt, others anger at being deceived or manipulated. As the day progressed, Michelle began organizing the accumulated confessions and evidence into a coherent narrative, every piece of information cross-checked with audio clips and testimonies. She understood the importance of framing the story accurately and ensuring that all involved were held accountable. The intensity of the drama did not let up as new leaks surfaced, suggesting further secret deals and manipulations. The ripple effect ensured that no one could remain silent or uninvolved. Every cast member's position was now under scrutiny. The confrontation concluded for the day with significant revelations but unresolved tension hanging heavy. The leaked audios had triggered a chain reaction of exposure, accountability, and emotional intensity that was far from over. The narrative was now firmly in Michelle's hands, setting the stage for further explosive confrontations, shocking admissions, and moments of raw, unfiltered drama that promised to captivate fans and redefine relationships both on and off the set. As the week progressed, the tension on set showed no signs of easing. The previous days of confrontation and confession had left every cast member and crew member on edge. The leaked audios had become the backbone of a story that was spiraling out of control, each revelation adding layers of shock, betrayal, and raw emotion. Michelle arrived early once again, her presence commanding attention. She had spent hours reviewing every clip, every text and email, compiling a timeline of Kirk's alleged manipulations and secret dealings. She knew that clarity and accountability were essential if the truth was to be fully exposed. Kirk arrived shortly after, trying to maintain composure, but the anxiety was palpable, his usual confidence replaced with visible tension. The cameras rolled as Michelle initiated yet another confrontation. "Kirk, we are going through everything," she said firmly, her eyes locking onto his every conversation, every plan, every manipulation. Kirk's response was halting. I never thought it would go this far," but she cut him off. "Thought? It already did, Kirk, and now it's time to face reality." Rashida, sitting nearby, attempted to defend herself. "We all make mistakes, Michelle's glare silenced her. Mistakes? This was calculated betrayal. The atmosphere was charged with emotions ranging from guilt and anger to fear and shock. Other cast members, inspired by Michelle's unwavering stance, began sharing their own experiences of manipulation and pressure, some admitting they had been coerced into acting against their own judgment, while others confessed to being aware of schemes and remaining silent out of fear. The room became a pressure cooker of raw emotion and truth, each revelation adding to the already complex web of betrayal. The production staff, initially reluctant to participate, found themselves confronted with evidence of collusion and manipulation, their admissions further intensifying the storm. The leaked audios played a central role in substantiating claims of secret deals, manipulation of storylines, and personal betrayals. The evidence was undeniable. Every cast member had to confront the reality of what had transpired and the consequences of their own actions. The confrontation reached new heights when Kirk was presented with detailed excerpts from the audios allegedly capturing private discussions with producers, plotting manipulations and strategy. The undeniable proof forced him into defensive statements that only fueled suspicion and heightened tension. The cameras captured every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, and every tear. The drama extended beyond the studio set as fans dissected each revelation online. Social media erupted with commentary hashtags like #KMIC, Hell exposes Kirk, and #reality drama dominates trending worldwide. Reaction videos dissected facial expressions, tone, and content, adding to the public frenzy. The pressure on Kirk intensified. His attempts at justification faltered under the weight of accumulated evidence, confessions, and the unyielding focus of Michelle. The room's energy surged as cast members, now emboldened, revealed additional secret alliances, hidden motives, and previously undisclosed conflicts, the emotional intensity was almost unbearable, every confession layered on top of the previous ones, creating a dense web of intrigue and betrayal. The psychological weight on everyone present was immense, each admission, denial, and defensive remark contributing to a narrative of manipulation that had long been hidden. The day continued with alternating waves of arguments, reflective silences, and confessions. The atmosphere was electric, the drama, raw and unscripted. The leaked audios had become a catalyst reshaping relationships, forcing accountability, and driving confrontations that had long been avoided. Michelle methodically pressed for transparency from Kirk and Rashida, demanding that all secrets, manipulations, and lies be fully disclosed. Her unwavering stance ensured that the truth could not be avoided. The intensity peaked when previously silent crew members came forward revealing involvement in manipulating storylines or covering for Kirk's actions. The confessions layered additional complexity and tension into the unfolding narrative. The cameras captured every detail, every nuance, creating footage that was both compelling and explosive. Fans online followed every development with rapt attention, discussion, and speculation, reaching fever pitch. The leaked audios were no longer just evidence, they had become the catalyst for an unprecedented series of revelations, confrontations, and emotional breakdowns. The day concluded with no final resolution but one undeniable truth: Michelle had taken control of the narrative and set the stage for continued confrontations, shocking admissions, and explosive twists. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and raw emotion had only just begun, and the story promised to escalate further, captivating fans and reshaping dynamics both on and off the screen. By Thursday, the studio was thick with tension. Every step felt heavier, every glance sharper. The revelations from the leaked audios had created an environment where no one could act naturally. Every cast member and crew member moved cautiously, aware that their words and actions were being scrutinized. Michelle arrived early. As always, reviewing notes and listening to the audios, she had compiled a detailed chronology of Kirk's alleged manipulations and secret dealings, each piece of evidence reinforcing her resolve to uncover the truth. The cameras were already rolling as she gathered cast and crew in the main room. Her presence immediately silenced murmurs and whispers. "We're going through every single detail today," she announced, her tone firm and unwavering, nothing hidden, nothing unspoken. Kirk entered shortly after, attempting to maintain composure, but his nervous energy betrayed him, his usual confidence replaced with visible tension. The confrontation began almost immediately. Michelle directed her attention to Kirk. "It's time to address every secret, every manipulation, every lie," she said, her eyes locking onto his. Kirk attempted to respond. I didn't think it would get this far," but she interrupted sharply. "It did get this far, Kirk, and now it's time to face the consequences." Rashida, seated nearby, tried to interject. "We all make mistakes, Michelle's glare silenced her. "Mistakes? This was planned betrayal." The atmosphere was charged with raw emotion as more cast members began sharing their own experiences of manipulation and coercion. Some admitted to being pressured into participating in schemes, others confessed to knowing about hidden plots and remaining silent. The tension escalated with each revelation. The production staff, once reluctant to speak, were now confronted with evidence of collusion and manipulation. Their admissions added even more fuel to the fire. The leaked audios provided a foundation of undeniable evidence that validated confessions and forced accountability. Each cast member had to confront the reality of what had happened and the role they played in it. The intensity reached a peak when Kirk was presented with additional audio clips, allegedly capturing private conversations with producers, planning manipulations and casting decisions. The proof was impossible to deny, forcing defensive statements that only heightened suspicion and emotional tension. The cameras captured every detail, every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, and every tear. The drama extended beyond the studio, with fans dissecting each revelation online. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #KMICHell reveals Kirk and #reality drama unfolding, trending worldwide. Reaction videos analyzing tone, expressions, and content adding to the frenzy. The pressure on Kirk intensified, his defenses weakened under the weight of evidence and the relentless pursuit of truth by Michelle. The room's energy surged as cast members revealed further secret alliances, hidden motives, and undisclosed conflicts, each confession adding layers of complexity and tension. The emotional intensity was almost overwhelming, every admission stacked atop the previous ones, creating a dense web of intrigue and betrayal. The psychological impact on everyone was immense, each confession, denial, and defensive remark contributing to a narrative of manipulation that had long been hidden. The day continued with waves of arguments, reflective silences, and confessions. The atmosphere was electric, the drama raw and unscripted. The leaked audios had become the catalyst reshaping relationships, forcing accountability, and driving confrontations that had long been avoided. K. Michelle pressed for full transparency, demanding that all secrets and lies be revealed. Her unwavering stance ensured that the truth could not be avoided. The intensity peaked when previously silent crew members came forward, revealing involvement in manipulation or covering for Kirk. The confessions layered additional tension into the unfolding story. The cameras captured every nuance, creating footage that was both compelling and explosive. Fans online followed every development with rapt attention, discussion, and speculation. Reaching fever pitch, the leaked audios had evolved from evidence into a catalyst for an unprecedented series of revelations, confrontations, and emotional breakdowns. The day ended with unresolved tension, but one truth was clear: K. Michelle had seized control of the narrative, setting the stage for continued confrontations, shocking admissions, and explosive twists. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and raw emotion had only just begun and promised to escalate further, captivating fans and redefining relationships on and off the screen. By Friday, the atmosphere on set had become almost unbearable. Every corner seemed charged with unspoken accusations and glances heavy with suspicion. The leaked audios had unleashed a torrent of revelations that no one could ignore. K. Michelle arrived early, her determination palpable. She had spent the night reviewing every confession, every clip, and every message, meticulously compiling a timeline that would leave no room for denial. The cameras were rolling as she gathered cast and crew in the main room. The tension was immediate and thick. "Today, we go deeper," she announced, her voice firm and unwavering. "Everything must be addressed, nothing hidden." Kirk entered shortly after, his usual confidence replaced with visible tension, every step betraying his anxiety. The confrontation began with K. Michelle turning to him. "Kirk, it's time to answer for everything, every manipulation, every lie, every secret." Kirk tried to respond. I didn't mean for it to get this far," but she cut him off sharply. "Didn't mean it already did, Kirk. Now, it's time to face reality." Rashida, seated nearby, attempted to defend herself. "We all make mistakes." K. Michelle's glare silenced her mistakes. This was calculated betrayal. The room erupted as cast members began revealing their own experiences of manipulation and coercion. Some admitted to being pressured into schemes, others confessed to knowing about secret plots and remaining silent. Each revelation heightened the tension. The production staff, previously reluctant, were now confronted with evidence of collusion and manipulation. Their admissions intensified the storm. The leaked audios were irrefutable proof that validated confessions and forced accountability. Each cast member had to confront the reality of what had happened and their role in it. The intensity escalated when Kirk was presented with additional audio clips allegedly capturing private conversations, plotting manipulations. The evidence was undeniable, forcing defensive statements that only heightened suspicion. The cameras captured every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, every tear. The drama spilled beyond the studio as fans dissected every revelation online. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #KMIC, Hell exposes Kirk, and #reality drama unfolding trending worldwide. Reaction videos analyzing tone, expressions, and content multiplying the public frenzy. The pressure on Kirk mounted, his defenses weakening under the relentless pursuit of truth by K. Michelle. The room's energy surged as cast members revealed further secret alliances, hidden motives, and undisclosed conflicts, each confession adding layers of complexity and tension. The emotional intensity was overwhelming, every admission layered atop the previous, creating a dense web of intrigue and betrayal. The psychological weight on everyone was immense, each confession, denial, and defensive remark contributing to a narrative of manipulation long hidden. The day continued with alternating waves of heated arguments, reflective silences, and confessions. The atmosphere electric, the drama raw and unscripted. The leaked audios had become the catalyst, reshaping relationships, forcing accountability, and driving confrontations previously avoided. K. Michelle pressed for full transparency, demanding all secrets and lies be revealed. Her unwavering stance ensured the truth could not be avoided. The intensity peaked when previously silent crew members came forward, revealing their involvement in manipulation or covering for Kirk. The confessions layered additional tension into the unfolding story. The cameras captured every nuance, creating footage both compelling and explosive. Fans online followed every development with rapt attention, discussion, and speculation. Reaching fever pitch, the leaked audios had evolved from mere evidence into a catalyst for an unprecedented chain of revelations, confrontations, and emotional breakdowns. The day ended with unresolved tension, but one truth was clear: Michelle had seized control of the narrative, setting the stage for continued confrontations. Shocking admissions and explosive twists, the storm of betrayal, manipulation, and raw emotion had only just begun, promising to escalate further. Captivating fans and redefining relationships on and off the screen. As Saturday dawned, the tension on set was palpable. Every cast member and crew member moved cautiously, aware that the previous days of confrontation had shifted the dynamics irreversibly. Michelle arrived early, her resolve stronger than ever. She had spent hours analyzing the leaked audios, cross-referencing them with confessions, messages, and on-camera interactions, each piece fitting into a larger puzzle that was now impossible to ignore. The cameras rolled as she gathered the cast and crew. Once again the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. "Today, we settle everything," she announced, her voice cutting through the murmurs. "No more secrets. No more lies." Kirk entered later than usual, his posture tense, every movement betraying nervous energy. He knew the scrutiny would be relentless, and the evidence overwhelming. Michelle wasted no time confronting him. "Kirk, it's time for complete transparency," she said, locking eyes with him. "Every secret, every manipulation, every betrayal must be addressed." Kirk attempted a weak defense. I didn't mean any harm," she interrupted sharply. "Intent doesn't erase actions, Kirk. What you've done has real consequences." The room hung on her every word. Rashida, previously hesitant, now stepped forward, trying to explain her role. "I thought I was protecting everyone." Michelle's glare silenced her. "Protecting everyone? By hiding the truth? By enabling deception?" The tension escalated further as other cast members began revealing additional details of manipulation and coercion. Some admitted to being pressured into participating in schemes, while others confessed to awareness of hidden plots and remaining silent. The room became a pressure cooker of emotions, anger, guilt, shame, and frustration rippling through everyone present. The production staff, once neutral, were now forced to confront evidence of their own collusion and manipulation, their admissions adding even more fuel to the fire the leaked audios provided. Undeniable proof, validating the confessions and ensuring accountability. The intensity reached a new peak when Kirk was presented with more audio clips capturing private conversations, plotting manipulations, and strategizing cast conflicts. The proof was irrefutable. His defensive statements only heightened suspicion and emotional tension. The cameras captured every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, every tear. The drama extended beyond the studio as fans dissected each revelation. Online social media exploded with posts, threads, and reaction videos. Hashtags like #KMIC, Hell exposes Kirk, and #reality drama explodes trending. Globally, the public frenzy added pressure to the already charged environment. Every move analyzed, every word scrutinized. Michelle's strategic approach ensured that no truth could remain hidden. She demanded accountability and transparency from everyone involved. Her unwavering stance reinforced the inevitability of disclosure. The day continued with waves of arguments, reflective silences, and confessions, each revelation building on the last, creating a complex web of intrigue and betrayal. The psychological weight on everyone present was immense. The leaked audios had become more than evidence. They were the catalyst for exposing manipulation, coercion, and betrayal that had long been concealed. The confrontation concluded with unresolved tension, but one undeniable fact: Michelle had taken control of the narrative, setting the stage for continued confrontations, explosive revelations, and shocking admissions. The storm of betrayal, deception, and raw emotion had only just begun, promising to captivate fans and permanently alter the dynamics on and off the screen. As Sunday arrived, the studio was thick with an almost unbearable tension. The previous days of confrontation had left every cast member and crew member on edge. Each glance, each whispered word carried the weight of suspicion and anticipation. Michelle entered early, her determination palpable. She had spent hours reviewing every leaked audio, every confession, every message to ensure that nothing remained hidden. The cameras rolled as she assembled the cast and crew. Once again the atmosphere was charged with expectation. "Today we resolve everything," she declared, her voice cutting through the murmurs. Every secret, every manipulation, every betrayal will be confronted. Kirk arrived shortly after, his usual swagger replaced with visible anxiety. He knew the scrutiny would be unrelenting and the evidence overwhelming. Michelle immediately turned her attention to him. Kirk, it's time for total transparency, she said, her eyes locked on his. We go through every single secret, every deception, every betrayal. Kirk attempted to defend himself. I never meant for it to get this far, but she interrupted sharply. Intent does not erase consequences. Kirk, your actions have affected real people. The room was silent, everyone hanging on her words. Rashida, who had been hesitant, now stepped forward, trying to explain her actions. I thought I was protecting everyone. Michelle's glare silenced her. Protecting everyone? By hiding the truth? By enabling betrayal? The emotional intensity escalated as more cast members began revealing additional manipulations and coercion. Some admitted being pressured into schemes, others confessed awareness of secret plots and choosing silence. The production staff, once neutral, were now forced to admit involvement in manipulations. Their confessions added fuel to the fire. The leaked audios provided undeniable proof, validating these statements and forcing accountability. The intensity reached a peak when Kirk was presented with additional clips capturing private conversations, plotting cast conflicts. The evidence was irrefutable, his defensive statements only heightened tension. The cameras captured every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, every tear. The drama extended beyond the studio as fans dissected each development. Online social media erupted. Hashtags like hashtag KMIC, Hell exposes Kirk, and hashtag reality drama explodes. Trending worldwide. Reaction videos dissected tone, expressions, and content, intensifying the frenzy. The public's attention added immense pressure. Michelle's strategic guidance ensured no truth could remain hidden. She demanded accountability from all involved. Her unwavering stance forced disclosure and heightened the stakes. The day continued with waves of heated arguments, confessions, and reflective silences, each revelation building on the last, creating a dense web of deceit and betrayal. The psychological impact was immense, each admission, denial, and defensive remark contributing to a narrative of manipulation. Long hidden, the confrontation concluded with unresolved tension, but one truth was undeniable. Michelle had seized control of the narrative, setting the stage for continued explosive confrontations, shocking admissions, and emotional breakdowns. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and raw emotion was far from over-promising to captivate fans and permanently redefine relationships on and off the screen. As the weekend drew to a close, the tension on set had reached a fever pitch. The cast and crew were exhausted from days of relentless confrontations and emotional revelations, yet the story was far from over. Michelle arrived early, her determination unshaken. She had spent hours reviewing every audio clip, every confession, every piece of evidence, compiling a comprehensive timeline that left no room for denial. The cameras were rolling as she gathered everyone in the main room. The atmosphere was electric, every cast member and crew member aware that nothing could be hidden. Today, this is it, she announced, her voice cutting through the murmurs. Every secret, every lie, every betrayal will be confronted and accounted for. Kirk arrived shortly after, visibly tense, his usual confidence replaced by a palpable anxiety. He knew the scrutiny would be merciless and the evidence overwhelming. Michelle immediately turned her attention to him. Kirk, it's time for full disclosure, she said, her eyes locking onto his. Every manipulation, every hidden conversation, every secret. Kirk attempted a defense. I never intended for it to go this far, but she cut him off sharply. Intended or not, Kirk, your actions have real consequences, and now it's time to face them. The room hung on her every word. Rashida, seated nearby, tried to interject. We all make mistakes. Michelle's glare silenced her. Mistakes? This was deliberate betrayal. The emotional intensity escalated as cast members began revealing more experiences of manipulation and coercion. Some admitted being pressured into schemes, others confessed awareness of secret plots and remaining silent. The production staff, once neutral, were now compelled to admit complicity. Their confessions added further layers of tension. The leaked audios provided irrefutable evidence validating these statements and forcing accountability. The intensity peaked when Kirk was confronted with additional audio clips capturing private conversations, plotting manipulations. The proof was undeniable, his defensive statements only heightened tension. The cameras captured every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, every tear. The drama extended beyond the studio as fans dissected every revelation. Online social media exploded. Hashtags like hashtag KMIC, Hell exposes Kirk and hashtag reality drama explodes. Trending globally reaction videos dissecting tone, expressions, and content multiplied the public frenzy. The pressure on Kirk and others intensified their defenses, weakening under the relentless scrutiny and the unstoppable pursuit of truth. By K. Michelle, the room's energy surged as cast members revealed further hidden alliances, motives, and undisclosed conflicts, each confession adding complexity and tension. The emotional intensity was overwhelming, every admission layered atop another, creating a dense web of deceit and betrayal. The psychological impact on everyone present was immense, each confession, denial, and defensive remark contributing to a narrative of manipulation that had long been concealed. The day continued with waves of arguments, reflective silences, and confessions. The atmosphere was electric, the drama raw and unscripted. The leaked audios had become more than evidence, they were the catalyst for exposing manipulation, coercion, and betrayal. The confrontation concluded with unresolved tension but one undeniable truth. K. Michelle had seized control of the narrative, setting the stage for continued confrontations, explosive revelations, and shocking admissions. The storm of betrayal, deception, and raw emotion had only just begun, promising to captivate fans and permanently redefine relationships both on and off the set. The following week began with a tense energy so thick it felt almost tangible. Every cast member and crew member entered the studio cautiously aware that the events of the past days had permanently shifted the atmosphere. Nothing could be taken lightly. The leaked audios had exposed layers of manipulation, deceit, and betrayal that no one could ignore. And K. Michelle had positioned herself at the center of the storm, a beacon of accountability and confrontation. She arrived before anyone else, her resolve unshaken by the emotional intensity and the sheer weight of the revelations. She had spent countless hours reviewing every clip, every confession, every text and message, compiling a detailed chronology that left no room for denial. The cameras were rolling as she assembled the cast and crew. Once more the tension was immediate and electric. Today, everything ends, she announced, her voice cutting through the murmurs with a sharp clarity. Every secret, every lie, every betrayal will be addressed and accounted for. Kirk entered shortly after, his usual swagger replaced by a tense, guarded demeanor, every step betraying the anxiety that had settled deep within him. The eyes of cast, crew, and cameras seemed to weigh on him more heavily than ever. K. Michelle wasted no time, turning her attention directly to him. Kirk, it's time for complete transparency, she said, her voice firm. Eyes locked onto his. We're going through every manipulation, every hidden conversation, every deceitful move. Kirk attempted to speak, but his words faltered. I didn't mean for it to escalate this far, she cut him off sharply. Intent doesn't erase consequences. Kirk, your actions have hurt real people, and now you must face that reality. The cast watched in silence, emotions running high, some nodding in agreement, others visibly shaken by the gravity of her words. Rashida, who had been hesitant in prior confrontations, now stepped forward, trying to explain herself. I thought I was protecting everyone. K. Michelle's glare silenced her, instantly. Protecting everyone? By hiding the truth, by enabling betrayal, by remaining silent while deception ran unchecked. The room seemed to shrink under the weight of tension, as more cast members began revealing experiences of coercion, manipulation, and personal pressure. Some admitted to being forced into schemes against their judgment, others confessed to being aware of secret plots and remaining silent out of fear or loyalty. The production staff, who had tried to remain neutral, were now confronted with evidence of their collusion. Their confessions only fueled the storm further. The leaked audios provided irrefutable proof, corroborating these admissions, forcing Kirk and anyone complicit to confront reality. The intensity reached a fever pitch when K. Michelle presented audio clips that allegedly captured Kirk coordinating with producers and other cast members to manipulate storylines and control narratives. The evidence was undeniable, each clip adding another layer of betrayal that could no longer be denied. Kirk's defense crumbled under the relentless pressure, i.e., I didn't realize the impact, he said, voice shaky, eyes darting to the floor. K. Michelle's response was sharp, didn't realize. Kirk, the impact is real, the pain is real, and now it's time to take responsibility. The room was tense, the emotional stakes higher than ever. The cameras recorded each tremor of fear, each flash of anger, each tear as the drama unfolded raw and unscripted online. Fans dissected each moment of confrontation, speculating endlessly about motives, hidden alliances, and the potential fallout. Hashtags like #KamiShell exposes Kirk, #reality drama unfolding, and #truth revealed were trending globally. Reaction videos multiplied rapidly as viewers analyzed every expression, every nuance, every word spoken. The pressure on Kirk intensified as cast members revealed more secret dealings, hidden motives, and undisclosed conflicts, each revelation layering additional tension and complexity into the narrative. The psychological impact on everyone present was immense, each confession, each denial, each defensive remark, contributing to a dense web of deceit that had remained hidden for far too long. The day continued with a mixture of heated arguments, reflective silences, and sobering admissions, each revelation amplifying the stakes and pushing the cast and crew to confront uncomfortable truths. The leaked audios were no longer just evidence, they were the catalyst for a sweeping reckoning, one that would expose manipulation, deceit, and betrayal at every level. The intensity surged further when new clips surfaced, allegedly capturing discussions where Kirk and others orchestrated secret plans to manipulate outcomes, pit cast members against each other, and protect their own interests. The revelations were staggering, each member of the cast forced to acknowledge their own involvement, their complicity, or their past silence. The atmosphere was electric, raw, and almost unbearable. The cameras captured every minute detail, making it clear that this footage would become legendary among fans and observers. The drama extended beyond the studio walls as news of the confrontations spread online. Fan reactions ranged from outrage to empathy, with social media threads dissecting every angle. Hashtags proliferated, commentary exploded, and debate surged across platforms. The public attention intensified the pressure on Kirk, Rashida, and other complicit members as Michelle methodically ensured that the truth would not be hidden. She demanded full disclosure and accountability, her unwavering stance reinforcing the gravity of the situation. The confrontations escalated into a series of personal revelations. Some cast members broke down crying while others expressed anger at the betrayal they had endured. The emotional swings were dramatic, adding to the tension and suspense as the day wore on. More crew members came forward, revealing knowledge of behind-the-scenes manipulations or active participation in schemes that contributed to the chaos. Their confessions layered even more complexity and intrigue into the story. The leaked audios acted as a central piece of evidence, validating these statements and ensuring that no one could escape scrutiny. The psychological impact on the cast and crew was profound. The need for transparency forced difficult conversations, admissions of guilt, and recognition of past mistakes. Michelle guided the confrontations with strategic precision, making sure that each revelation was addressed, each deception uncovered, and each individual held accountable. The intensity reached its peak when Kirk, under the pressure of multiple confessions and undeniable evidence, began to admit previously concealed actions and alliances. His voice trembled as he attempted to rationalize some of his decisions. I thought I was protecting the show, I didn't realize the harm. Michelle's response was unyielding, protecting the show. Kirk, the harm is real, the betrayal is real, and now every choice must be faced. The room was heavy with emotion, each member of the cast grappling with shock, relief, anger, guilt, or disbelief as the complex web of deceit unraveled before their eyes. The drama was not limited to direct confrontations, it extended into hallways, dressing rooms, and break areas. Every whispered conversation, every glance, every defensive remark, adding to the tension. The intensity was amplified, knowing that cameras were capturing every nuance, every emotion for public consumption. Fans online dissected every detail, amplifying the frenzy. The leaked audios had become the linchpin in a saga of betrayal, manipulation, and exposure unlike anything seen before on the show. The day ended with no clear resolution, but one undeniable fact remained. Michelle had seized control of the narrative, orchestrating confrontations, exposing secrets, and forcing accountability. The storm of raw emotion, betrayal, and manipulation had only just begun, promising further shocking revelations, confrontations, and explosive drama that would captivate fans, dominate social media, and redefine the relationships of every cast member and crew involved. The weekend closed with an air of suspense, every participant aware that the next round of revelations could bring even more dramatic twists and that the story was far from over. The legacy of the leaked audios had transformed the show into a spectacle of accountability, exposing secrets and forcing truths into the light. With Michelle at the helm, the stage was set for the next chapter of explosive confrontations, tearful admissions, and shocking twists. The emotional and psychological stakes were higher than ever, the tension in the air was palpable, and fans worldwide awaited the next move with bated breath. The saga of betrayal, manipulation and exposure had reached a climax, but the resolution remained uncertain, leaving everyone on edge, ready for the final shocking revelations that would forever alter the dynamics on and off the set. The storm, unleashed by the leaked audios, had created a narrative that was both compelling and devastating. As each cast member and crew member confronted the reality of their involvement, it became clear that nothing would ever be the same. Trust had been shattered, alliances tested, and relationships permanently altered, and yet, amidst the chaos, Michelle stood resolute, commanding the narrative, demanding accountability and ensuring that the truth could no longer be hidden. The final act of this drama was poised to unfold, with fans watching, waiting, and speculating about every shocking twist and explosive revelation that would inevitably follow in this unprecedented saga of betrayal and exposure. The story was now fully in her hands, and the consequences for Kirk, Rashida, and the rest of the cast were inevitable, promising moments of confrontation, confession, and raw emotion that would resonate for months to come. The following Monday, the set was nearly unrecognizable. Tension thickened the air as every cast member and crew arrived with a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. The events of the previous week had left deep emotional scars and unresolved conflicts. The leaked audios had completely upended the dynamics, leaving everyone acutely aware that nothing could remain hidden. Michelle arrived first, her presence commanding immediate attention. She had spent the night analyzing every new detail, cross-referencing every confession with the audios, and compiling a meticulous timeline that left no room for error or denial. The cameras were rolling. As she gathered the cast and crew into the main room, the atmosphere was electric. Every whispered conversation and sidelong glance now carried significant weight. Today we confront the final truths, she announced, her voice firm and unwavering. Every betrayal, every manipulation, every secret will be exposed and addressed. Kirk entered shortly after, visibly tense, his usual demeanor replaced with a cautious, guarded posture. He knew that scrutiny was unavoidable and the evidence against him was mounting. Michelle immediately turned to him, eyes sharp. Kirk, it's time for complete accountability. Every hidden conversation, every plot, every scheme will be confronted. Kirk's voice faltered. I didn't think it would go this far, she cut him off without hesitation. Didn't think. Kirk, the consequences are real, the betrayals are real, and now every choice must be faced. Rashida, sitting quietly nearby, tried to interject. I was trying to protect everyone. Michelle's glare silenced her instantly. Protect, by hiding the truth, by enabling deceit, by remaining silent while others were hurt. The tension in the room escalated to almost unbearable levels. More cast members, emboldened by Michelle's resolve, began revealing additional details of manipulation and coercion. Some admitted being pressured into participating in schemes against their judgment. Others confessed to knowledge of secret alliances or hidden agendas and staying silent out of fear or loyalty. The production staff, once attempting neutrality, were confronted with evidence of their own collusion. Their admissions further fueled the storm of revelations. The leaked audios became central pieces of evidence, corroborating every confession and forcing every individual to confront the reality of their actions. The day escalated rapidly as Kirk was presented with additional audio clips allegedly capturing private conversations in which he coordinated with producers and select cast members to manipulate, control narratives, and orchestrate personal conflicts. The proof was undeniable, each clip adding another layer of betrayal and manipulation that could no longer be ignored. His attempts to rationalize his behavior grew increasingly desperate. I was just trying to maintain order, I didn't want chaos. Michelle's response was sharp and unwavering. Chaos? Kirk, you created chaos, you manipulated trust, you betrayed everyone, and now the truth must be faced. The emotional intensity in the room reached new heights. Some cast members were visibly shaking with anger, others broke down in tears. The psychological weight of weeks of exposure and confrontation was almost too much to bear. The cameras captured every micro-expression, every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, every tear streaming down cheeks. The drama extended beyond the studio walls as fans dissected every revelation. Online social media erupted in waves of commentary, speculation, and debate. Hashtags like #KMIC, Hell exposes Kirk, #Truth revealed, #reality drama, unfolding dominated trending lists. Reaction videos dissecting expressions, tone, and word choice multiplied by the minute. The public frenzy added another layer of pressure on Kirk. Rashida, and other implicated members. As each revelation became more explosive, the energy in the studio remained charged with raw emotion. Each cast member revealing hidden motives, secret alliances, or previously undisclosed conflicts. The cumulative effect of confessions, audio evidence, and public scrutiny created an almost unbearable tension. The psychological impact was profound. Every confession, every defensive remark, every tear contributing to a narrative of betrayal, manipulation, and exposure that could no longer be ignored. The confrontations shifted fluidly throughout the day, some moments marked by heated arguments, other moments by reflective silences, as cast members grappled with guilt, anger, shock, and disbelief. The leaked audios, now fully contextualized by K. Michelle, had transformed from mere evidence into a catalyst for a sweeping reckoning. The exposure of hidden schemes, personal betrayals, and behind-the-scenes manipulation created a web of intrigue so complex it was almost impossible to follow, yet utterly captivating. The cameras captured the raw, unscripted nature of the confrontations, the intensity of emotions, the volatility of accusations, and the fragility of relationships, formed an explosive narrative. The public online became intensely involved, dissecting each development, analyzing motives and expressions, debating who was responsible, and speculating about future confrontations. The pressure on Kirk intensified as new revelations surfaced, suggesting further secret deals, manipulation, and coercion. The cast, increasingly emboldened by K. Michelle's relentless pursuit of truth, pressed for full transparency, no longer willing to allow deceit to remain unchallenged. The intensity escalated further when previously silent crew members came forward admitting active participation in manipulation and concealment. Their confessions added additional tension and complexity. The day's confrontations reached a peak when Kirk, under the unrelenting pressure of audio evidence and multiple confessions, began to admit previously concealed actions, alliances, and strategies. His voice shaking, he attempted to justify certain decisions. "I thought it was best for the show. I didn't intend harm." K. Michelle's response was merciless. "Best for the show, Kirk. The harm is real, the betrayals are real, and now every consequence must be faced." The emotional impact rippled through the room. Some cast members wept openly, others reacted with visible rage, the weight of weeks of deception, manipulation, and betrayal finally culminating in an intense emotional climax. The cameras captured every detail, making it undeniable for viewers the drama had escalated to unprecedented levels online. The public followed every second of confrontation, dissecting words, expressions, and body language with rapt attention. Hashtags multiplied, trending globally, while fan theories and reaction videos exploded. The scrutiny intensified the stakes for Kirk, Rashida, and any other implicated parties. The day continued with waves of confrontation, reflection, confession, and accusation, each revelation compounding the gravity of the narrative. The cumulative emotional intensity was overwhelming for everyone involved. The leaked audios had become a master key, unlocking a cascade of truths that had remained hidden for years. Each confession, denial, and defensive statement layered another brick in the complex web of betrayal. The psychological weight on cast and crew was immense. The reality of manipulation, deception, and betrayal could no longer be ignored. The confrontations were not only emotional but strategic. K. Michelle ensured that every piece of evidence, every confession, and every observation was addressed, forcing accountability at every level. The intensity peaked when Kirk, pressed by both audio evidence and public scrutiny, began admitting previously hidden relationships, alliances, and plans. His admissions, while partial, marked a turning point in the narrative. K. Michelle maintained strict focus, demanding full transparency and ensuring that every revelation was documented and captured. The room remained charged with emotion, each cast member forced to reckon with their past decisions, their complicity, or their silence. The cameras documented every microexpression, every glance, every word, forming a comprehensive record of betrayal, deception, and exposure. Outside the studio, fans dissected each revelation online, amplifying the pressure. The drama had transcended the set, spilling into social media, conversations, and online debates. The saga of manipulation, deception, and betrayal was now a public spectacle, a story that captivated viewers globally. Every moment, confession, and explosive confrontation feeding the insatiable curiosity of the audience. The emotional, psychological, and narrative stakes had never been higher as the day wore on. K. Michelle systematically addressed each confession, each revelation, and each defensive remark, weaving a coherent narrative that exposed the full extent of manipulation. The intensity of the confrontations left cast and crew physically and emotionally drained, yet fully engaged, knowing that the truth, once revealed, would have lasting consequences. The day concluded with unresolved tension. But one undeniable reality: Michelle had solidified her control over the narrative. Every cast member and crew member aware that further revelations, confrontations, and shocking admissions were inevitable. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and exposure promised to continue escalating, with the leaked audios acting as a catalyst, ensuring that nothing could remain hidden. Every secret would eventually come to light. The drama had reached a climax in intensity, yet remained open-ended in resolution, setting the stage for future confrontations, shocking disclosures, and emotional reckonings that would keep fans riveted and permanently alter the dynamics of every relationship involved. The leaked audios had achieved something unprecedented. They had created a spectacle of truth, accountability, and emotional intensity that would define the narrative for months to come. The stage was now set for the next chapter of this explosive saga, with Michelle at the center, commanding the narrative and the consequences for Kirk, Rashida, and others looming large. Every moment was now critical. Every word and action would shape the fallout and ensure that the story's reach extended far beyond the walls of the studio. Every revelation promised to captivate fans, dominate online discourse, and redefine the relationships both on and off camera. The saga of betrayal, manipulation, and exposure had entered its penultimate stage, and the world was watching with bated breath as the final revelations, confrontations, and emotional breakdowns approached with unstoppable momentum. As the new week unfolded, the tension on set was palpable. Every cast member and crew arrived with a mixture of dread and anticipation. The leaked audios had permanently altered the environment, leaving no room for pretense or avoidance. Michelle arrived early, her determination and intensity commanding attention. She had spent the night reviewing every confession, every clip, every piece of evidence, compiling a timeline so detailed that no lie could be ignored. The cameras were rolling as she gathered everyone into the main room. The atmosphere was electric. Every whispered conversation, every sideways glance now carried immense weight. "Today we go through every final truth," she declared, her voice cutting sharply through the murmur of the room. "Every betrayal, every manipulation, every secret must be exposed and confronted." Kirk arrived shortly after, his usual confidence replaced by visible tension, every step and movement betraying the anxiety that had settled deep within him. Michelle wasted no time, turning directly to him. "Kirk, it's time for full transparency. Every hidden conversation, every manipulation, every scheme will be addressed." Kirk's voice faltered. I didn't think it would escalate this far," she interrupted him with precision. "Didn't think." "Kirk, the consequences are real, the betrayals are real, and now every choice must be faced." Rashida, seated nearby, attempted to explain her role. "Is trying to protect everyone." Michelle's glare silenced her instantly. "Protecting? By hiding the truth? By enabling betrayal? By remaining silent while others were hurt?" The tension escalated as cast members began revealing additional manipulations and coercions. Some admitted being pressured into participating in schemes against their judgment. Others confessed awareness of hidden alliances or secret agendas, yet remaining silent out of fear or loyalty. The production staff, once neutral, were now forced to admit their collusion. Their confessions, adding fuel to the storm. The leaked audios acted as irrefutable proof, validating these statements and compelling Kirk and others to confront reality. The intensity surged when Michelle presented audio clips, allegedly capturing Kirk coordinating with producers and select cast members to manipulate storylines, control narratives, and orchestrate personal conflicts. The evidence was undeniable, each clip layering another level of betrayal that could no longer be ignored. His attempts to rationalize behavior grew increasingly desperate. I was just trying to maintain order. I didn't want chaos." Michelle responded sharply. "Chaos? Kirk, you created chaos, you manipulated trust, you betrayed everyone, and now the truth must be faced." The emotional intensity reached unprecedented levels. Some cast members visibly shook with anger, others broke down crying. The psychological weight of weeks of exposure and confrontation was almost unbearable. The cameras captured every micro-expression, every tremor of fear, every flash of anger, every tear streaming down faces. The drama extended beyond the studio walls. Fans dissected every moment online. Hashtags like #KMICHell exposes Kirk, #reality drama, unfolding, #truth revealed, dominated trending lists. Reaction videos multiplied rapidly, analyzing tone, expressions, and word choice. The public scrutiny intensified the pressure on Kirk, Rashida, and others implicated in deception. Each revelation becoming more explosive, the energy in the studio remained charged with raw emotion. Cast members revealed hidden motives, secret alliances, undisclosed conflicts. The cumulative effect created a tension so thick it was almost suffocating. The psychological impact was profound, each confession, denial, and defensive remark contributing to a dense web of deceit and betrayal. The confrontations shifted fluidly throughout the day, some moments marked by heated arguments, others by reflective silences, as cast members grappled with guilt, anger, shock, and disbelief. The leaked audios had transformed from mere evidence into a catalyst for an unprecedented reckoning. The exposure of hidden schemes, personal betrayals, and behind-the-scenes manipulations created a complex web of intrigue that captivated every participant. The cameras captured raw, unscripted moments, the intensity of emotions, the volatility of accusations, and the fragility of relationships, forming an explosive narrative. The public online became intensely involved, dissecting each development, speculating endlessly about motives, hidden alliances, and future confrontations. The pressure on Kirk intensified as new revelations surfaced, suggesting secret deals, manipulation, and coercion. Cast members, emboldened by Michelle's relentless pursuit of truth, pressed for full transparency, no longer willing to allow deceit to persist. The intensity escalated when previously silent crew members admitted active participation in manipulation and concealment, their confessions adding additional tension. The leaked audios became a master key, validating confessions, ensuring no one could escape scrutiny. The psychological impact was immense, every confession, denial, and defensive remark adding to the narrative of manipulation that had remained hidden. The confrontations were emotional and strategic. Michelle ensured each piece of evidence, each confession and observation was addressed, forcing accountability at every level. The intensity peaked when Kirk, pressed by audio evidence and public scrutiny, began admitting previously hidden relationships, alliances, and plans. His admissions, while partial, marked a pivotal moment in the narrative. Michelle maintained strict focus, demanding full transparency and ensuring that every revelation was documented. The room remained charged with emotion, each cast member forced to reckon with past decisions, complicity, or silence. The cameras documented every micro-expression, every glance, every word, forming a comprehensive record of betrayal, deception, and exposure. Outside the studio, fans dissected every revelation online, amplifying the pressure. The drama transcended the set, spilling into social media conversations and debates. The saga of manipulation, deception, and betrayal had become a public spectacle, captivating viewers globally. Every moment, confession, and confrontation, feeding insatiable curiosity. The emotional, psychological, and narrative stakes had never been higher. As the day wore on, Michelle systematically addressed each confession, each revelation, each defensive remark, weaving a coherent narrative exposing the full extent of manipulation. The confrontations left cast and crew physically and emotionally drained, yet fully engaged, knowing the truth once revealed would have lasting consequences. The day concluded with unresolved tension, but one undeniable reality: Michelle had solidified control over the narrative. Every cast member and crew, aware that further revelations, confrontations, and shocking admissions were inevitable, the storm of betrayal, manipulation, and exposure promised to escalate further, with the leaked audios acting as a catalyst, ensuring nothing could remain hidden. Every secret eventually coming to light. The drama had reached a climax in intensity, yet remained open-ended in resolution, setting the stage for future confrontations, shocking disclosures, and emotional reckonings that would keep fans riveted and permanently alter relationships on and off camera. The leaked audios had created a spectacle of truth, accountability, and emotional intensity that would define the narrative. 4 months, each cast member confronted the reality of their involvement, realizing nothing would ever be the same. Trust shattered, alliances tested, relationships permanently altered. Yet, amidst the chaos, Michelle stood resolute, commanding the narrative, demanding accountability, and ensuring the truth could no longer be ignored. The final act of this drama was poised to unfold, with fans watching, waiting, and speculating about every shocking twist, an explosive revelation that would inevitably follow in this unprecedented saga of betrayal and exposure. The story was fully in her hands. The consequences for Kirk, Rashida, and the rest of the cast were inevitable, promising moments of confrontation, confession, and raw emotion that would resonate for months. The studio remained a pressure cooker, every whispered conversation, every glance, every defensive remark, adding to the intensity. The cameras captured it all, creating an immersive and explosive record for fans. The public's attention was relentless. Social media Threads exploded with debate, analysis, and speculation. The drama was now unstoppable. The leaked audios had transformed the narrative, turning it into a spectacle of exposure, truth, an emotional confrontation. The emotional stakes could not have been higher, every participant aware that the next wave of revelations would bring further shock and upheaval. The saga of manipulation, deceit, and betrayal had entered its ultimate stage with K. Michelle at the helm, orchestrating confrontations, ensuring transparency, demanding accountability. The final revelations, confrontations, and admissions were inevitable. The storm of betrayal, manipulation, and raw emotion had only intensified, and the world was watching, waiting with bated breath for the next explosive twist. The intensity, the drama, and the psychological impact promised to keep fans riveted and alter the dynamics of every relationship on and off the set permanently. The leaked audios had proven to be unstoppable, a catalyst for truth-forcing exposure and confrontation that would resonate far beyond the studio walls. Every confession, every denial, every tear, every flash of anger, now part of a record of drama that would define the narrative for months, if not years. The saga of K. Michelle, exposing Kirk, Rashida, and the hidden manipulations had become one of the most intense and riveting series of confrontations ever captured on reality television. The story was far from over, and the world continued to watch as the explosive drama of betrayal, manipulation, and truth unfolded in real time. As the dust begins to settle from the whirlwind of revelations, confessions, and confrontations, the full magnitude of betrayal, manipulation, and exposure becomes undeniable. The cast and crew have been left emotionally raw and psychologically shaken. Every secret uncovered, every audio leaked, every hidden agenda revealed has permanently altered the dynamics on set. The truth has been brought into the light under the unwavering guidance of K. Michelle, who has proven herself not only as a force of accountability but as the central figure commanding the narrative. The storm of drama has left no one untouched, from Kirk, whose carefully constructed defenses crumbled under the weight of evidence, to Rashida, who faced the stark reality of complicity, to the rest of the cast and crew who were forced to confront their own choices, their silence, and their alliances. The impact of these revelations extends far beyond the studio walls. The fans at home, who followed every clip, every confrontation, every tear, and every heated exchange, have been captivated, drawn into a story of deceit and exposure so intense it feels almost impossible to look away. The leaked audios have acted as a catalyst not just for uncovering hidden truths, but for reshaping relationships, testing loyalties, and forcing transparency in a way that no one could have anticipated. Every twist, every turn, every explosive moment has contributed to a narrative that is both riveting and deeply unsettling. The lessons are clear: trust is fragile, loyalty can be manipulated, and the consequences of secrecy are far-reaching. The public reaction has been overwhelming. Social media exploded with hashtags like #KMichelleExposes Kirk, #RealityDrama Unfolding, and #TruthRevealed. Fans dissecting every moment, debating motives, analyzing body language, and speculating endlessly about future developments. Reaction videos proliferated, offering commentary, analysis, and even predictions about how the story would continue. The pressure on Kirk, Rashida, and others implicated remains intense as they now navigate the consequences of exposure and public scrutiny. The story has become more than just a series of confrontations. It is now a cultural moment, a spectacle of raw human emotion, accountability, and the power of truth. The intensity of the drama has captivated audiences worldwide, and the story continues to evolve with new revelations guaranteed to shock and enthrall viewers. The role of K. Michelle cannot be overstated. She has orchestrated these confrontations with precision, ensuring that no deception remains hidden, that every participant faces accountability, and that the narrative is driven by the relentless pursuit of truth. Her leadership has turned what could have been mere scandal into a full-scale exploration of betrayal, manipulation, and exposure. The emotional impact on the cast and crew is profound, each person now forced to reflect on their actions, decisions, and alliances while navigating the complex web of relationships. Forever altered by exposure, the psychological stakes are high, and the potential for further explosive confrontations remains. As the truth continues to unfold for the fans watching, it is impossible not to be drawn into the intensity, the suspense, the rawness of every emotion captured. Every word spoken, every glance, and every tear streaming across faces has created a story so gripping that it demands attention. The lessons for the audience are both cautionary and compelling. Integrity, transparency, and accountability are revealed as non-negotiable in the world of relationships, both personal and professional, and the consequences of deceit, manipulation, or hidden agendas are now made undeniably clear. The narrative has transformed from simple reality television into a study of human behavior, the power of truth, and the ramifications of secrecy. The drama may have reached one climax, but the potential for future developments remains immense, every viewer left with questions: who will rebuild trust, who will be forgiven, who will face lasting consequences, and who will continue to be part of the narrative. These questions ensure that engagement will remain high, that speculation will continue, and that every revelation moving forward will be met with heightened attention and emotion as you watch this story unfold. Consider the intensity of the emotions involved, the weight of each betrayal, the courage required to confront deception, and the transformative power of accountability. Michelle has not only exposed hidden truths, she has also created a blueprint for